Hello students, welcome back. Hope you all are doing great. Now again we are back with our online classes. Now I'll make certain changes. I will give you a hybrid, that is interactive as well as animated form. Hope you like it. Please give your suggestions. We will do as per your liking and your feedback. Okay? So let's begin with our studies now. Before we went off for the vacations, we were doing the structural organization in animals, the chapter. You can see here, structural organization in animals. And we have already studied the morphology and anatomy of cockroach. Now let us take the first part of the chapter, which is very interesting. So when we studied about animal kingdom, we studied that in animals there are different levels of organization. We started from cellular level to tissue level, then organ and organ system. So here we will be focusing on the tissue level of organization because one cell has got limited functions. Though in unicellular organism, all the functions are done by a single cell. But as the evolution took place, there was more complexity in the body of the organisms, especially animals. So, different cells, they became specialized for a specific type of function. So, there was a better division of labor. So, in this chapter, first we'll be studying about different types of tissues. So, do you know what is the study of tissues known as? Yes, it is called as histology. In histology, we study the different types of tissues in terms of their origin, their location, their properties, their diagrams and their functions. So here also we will be studying about animal tissues. There are only 4 types of animal tissues. What are they? They are epithelial, connective, muscular and nervous. So we will be studying all these tissues one by one based on these parameters. So let's begin. So the first type of tissue is the epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissues. So let us first study the general characteristics of epithelial tissues. When it comes to origin, epithelial tissues originate from all the 3 germinal layers, that is ectoderm, endoderm as well as mesoderm. And what are the other properties? They are having a well-developed nucleus and there are no intercellular spaces between them. They are held together by different types of junctions which we will study later on. And one very important characteristics of the epithelial tissue is the presence of basement membrane, which is a cementing layer. They may be of different shapes and they may be of different layers. Now let us see the outline of epithelial tissues. They are divided into simple and compound. Simple means they are unilayered. There is a single layer of these tissues. Whereas compound, it is also called stratified because there are many layers. Now you can see, based on the different shapes, they may be squamous, where the shape is irregular. They are just mosaic shape. They are called squamous epithelial. Then comes the cuboidal, when they are cube-like. Individual cells are cube-like. They are called cuboidal. And columnar, when they are long elongated cells, they are called columnar. Then these cuboidal and columnar may be ciliated. Cuboidal also may be ciliated, cilia present, or they may have the cilia on the columnar also. Also at times they may have the foldings which are called as microvilli. Then they are glandular also. They are secretory. They secrete. These glandular cells may be single, unilayered, unicellular. A single cell acts as a gland. Those cells are called goblet cells. They generally store mucus. Sometimes they may be multicellular, and multicellular again may be of exocrine type or endocrine type. Exocrine glands are the duct glands like salivary gland, gastric glands. They are all exocrine gland. Whereas the glands which are ductless and store hormone, they are called endocrine glands. So all these glands are also epithelial tissues. These epithelial tissues are compound like our outer covering. It is made up of many layers of squamous epithelial cells. That's why it is called squamous stratified epithelial cells. So we will study the details of it. We will also study the junctions in the animation. Let's study that. Now let us study these cells with the help of animations. The epithelial tissues, as you know, they are protective in function. They are lining either the internal body parts or the external body parts. So all our internal body parts, internal organs, they are so delicate and they are lined by different types of epithelial tissues depending upon their functions and locations. These epithelial tissues do not have any matrix. So how are they connected then? They are held together with the help of different types of cell junctions. There are three types of cell junctions: tight junctions, adhering junctions, and gap junctions. Let's see their diagrams. These are tight junctions, which are basically responsible for storage. These are adhering junctions. They keep the cells together. And third are the gap junctions, which provide certain gaps for the transportation of substances from one cell to other. So these are connected through these junctions. Now, depending upon the number of layers, these may be simple or compound. When only one layer is present, single layer is present, it is called simple epithelial tissues, which we have already studied through diagrams. Now, when there are many layers, then it is called compound epithelium or stratified epithelium. Let us study the function of compound epithelium first. They are mainly protective in functions. Like you can see, these are esophagus lining is made up of compound epithelium. Our skin, that is so rough and hard because of the cornified squamous epithelium. Apart from many layers, there is also a cutin present which protects it. Now you can see these epithelial tissues, the simple ones are also of different types depending upon the shapes of the cells. These may be squamous when they are irregular shape. These squamous epithelium cells are present in the lining of our blood vessels, capillaries. You can see these are the internal lining of the capillaries and our alveoli. Next type of epithelial tissues are the cuboidal epithelial tissues. They are mainly present in the lining of the nephrons. These nephrons, basically the proximal convoluted tubule part of the nephron, they are made up of these cuboidal epithelial cells, and these cuboidal epithelial cells also have the foldings on their surfaces to increase the surface area, and these are called microvilli. You can see these microvilli here. So these microvilli increase the surface area so that the absorption can be done in a better way. Then comes columnar epithelium cells, where the cells are elongated, slender, and generally the nucleus is present towards the base. These cells may also have the foldings called microvilli, or these microvilli are mainly present in the lining of our gut, and these may also be having cilia. Cilia are mainly responsible for propulsion of something. So these cilia, ciliated epithelium, are present either in the lining of our bronchi or in the fallopian tube. Next comes the secretory or glandular epithelial cells. These may be goblet cells. These goblet cells, as I've already mentioned you, they are secreting the mucus. Glandular epithelial cells may be unicellular or multicellular. So these are goblet cells which are mainly present in the lining of our intestine. And these are multicellular glandular epithelial cells. These multicellular glandular epithelial cells again may be of two types, exocrine or endocrine. Exocrine are like our salivary gland, sweat gland, whereas endocrine gland, these are exocrine. The sweat gland in the skin is having the exocrine sweat glands, whereas endocrine glands, they are hormone secreting like our adrenal glands. They are endocrine glands. So we have studied how important are these different types of epithelial tissues in our body. They are mainly protective in function. Apart from protection, they are secreting so many substances in our body. It may be the digestive juices, different types of hormones, different types of other secretions, and also they are helping in the transportation. Okay, I hope you have understood the epithelial tissues well. Okay, thank you.